Hi, and welcome to a new episode of Geek Lunch Me. I'm your host Chris, as always, bringing you the best news and reviews. It's end of August, pretty much now, heading into September. And the big news this week was obviously the Spider-Man No Way Home trailer finally hit. People were wondering why it was taking so long, although technically it's not out till December. So it's not massively late, but I did wonder for a bit whether or not they were waiting till after Shang-Chi and the Legend of Ten Rings comes out, which is coming out next week, obviously. I wondered maybe there was some stuff in the Spider-Man trailer that would have given away some spoilers from that. A bit like, obviously, there was no way you were going to get the Spider-Man, was it Far From Home, the last one? Obviously, the trailer, showed the aftermath of Tony's death at the end of Endgame. So obviously there was no way that was coming before Endgame. But no, as it turns out, nothing like that. Just a bit late. And yeah, what a fantastic trailer it was. It gives us some idea of the plot. A lot of stuff that was rumored that we sort of guessed about definitely seemed to be true. So you've got obviously Spidey, obviously in the aftermath of his last movie, where J. Jonah Jameson outed him and said, Spidey is Peter Parker and that he had killed Mysterio. Obviously not true. So he's now sort of public enemy number one, which is a bit makes you wonder. I mean, obviously he helped save half the universe from Thanos, which makes you wonder in the MCU how much the public perception and how much they know. Obviously, in Falcon and Winter Soldier, for example, he's having trouble raising money to sort out the family boat and the house and stuff. So yeah, it's not like being a hero doesn't seem to be, unless you're like Tony Stark and a billionaire anyway. It seemed to be maybe the hero gig is not as not as rewarding as it could be. But anyway, he's having some hard times, and he goes to see Doctor Strange to ask him if he can perform some sort of spell to literally erase everyone's minds, maybe sort of turn the time back a little bit, which seems a bit iffy when you consider the amount of trouble they had with timelines and how it's all explained in Endgame. Doctor Strange does seem quite happy to go, yeah, that's fine. Yeah, we'll go back and change that. Although maybe it's not changing the timeline. Say it is meant to be just erasing everyone's memory. And obviously, if things go wrong, and we get this multiverse split, which we've seen coming from Loki, is sort of the main thing that's been driving this. And and obviously the big thing is Alfred Molina turning up as Doc Ock from the Sam Raimi Spider-Man trilogy. The pumpkin bomb and the laughs indicating obviously that presumably the Green Goblin, maybe a Willem Dafoe, presumably. There are some shots where we see some lightning and what looks like sand forming. Is that Electro and Sandman coming in as well? There's been rumors, I think it was some Lego sets, which is all the stuff they keep secret. And it does tend to be toy leaks that tend and quite often Lego that seems to get released quite early, images of and give away parts of the plot. I'm pretty sure there were some Lego leaks. I'm sure that indicated that the Vulture was definitely back as well. And yeah, it's odd because obviously some of the complaints about Raimi's trilogy, especially the third film, were that there were too many villains. So obviously this seems to be a whole load of them. Now, one of the rumors obviously is that we're going to get the other Spider-Men, Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield's versions. Obviously not in the trailer. If they are coming, they're keeping that secret. I suspect they will be. If you're going to bring in the villains from the Raimi universe, and if they do bring in like Electro from the Andrew Garfield series, the two films they did, then yeah, I really do. I hope we do get all three Spideys together. That's my prediction. We'll see if that comes true. December the 17th, we'll see if that comes true. That's when it's coming out. Oh, also the trailer, 355 million views in its first 24 hours. If you put any stock in these sort of figures, that was about 65 million more views than Avengers Endgame got in its first 24 hours. So yeah, if you put stock in these things, it's going to be big. Obviously, it's coming in just as the Delta variant is like moving its way across America. It's not too bad now here in the UK. Although I did read a report, I think cinema viewings they reckon are still at about 50%, both in the UK and the US, and presumably probably worldwide. Then trending since yes, 50% of what they were before the pandemic. So I say, and obviously the Spider-Man is not going to. I don't know as far as I'm aware, it's not going to Disney Plus where you can pay to watch it. I think it is just going straight to the cinema. And I think they all are now. I think Shang-Chi and Eternals are as well. So it's going to be interesting. All these big Marvel films coming up and other people, other studios movies, as to how much money they're actually going to take. But yeah, that was the big news this week. What else we got? Disney Plus announced they're doing a TV show called Nautilus, which is a prequel to 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, which I'm all for. It could go either way. I'd say there's not really many details about it, just that they're doing this TV show that's going to be about Captain Nemo, obviously in his younger days. I've said before, I love adventure movies. I love the 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, the old Disney movie with, was it James Mason, Kirk Douglas, I think, isn't it? Yeah, if they can do a great adventure series, sort of pulp style, obviously it's going to be set back in the old days, adventure, I don't know, pirates and giant sea creatures, giant squids, anything like that. I'm all up for that. Let's say that's pretty much all they've announced, that they're doing this prequel called Nautilus, coming to Disney Plus. Obviously, I expect it maybe end of next year, maybe not even to the year after, depending on if they've not even started production on it yet. But that will be coming at some point. We also got this week, so the first steals from Netflix is live action show that's coming out of Cowboy Bebop, based on the classic anime. I've said before, I'm not a massive anime fan. There was a lot of anime that I do like, but there's also a lot of it that I'm not really bothered by. And I must admit, Cowboy Bebop is not one that I've seen. Memory must have been playing tricks on me. I thought I'd seen the first episode or two and didn't go much on it and didn't continue. But in looking at some stuff on YouTube, in researching before this, I know it's hard to believe, I do actually do some research and actually look things up. As I've even got notes, see here. But yeah, it didn't look familiar at all. So maybe it wasn't Cowboy Bebop. It may be on memory playing tricks me. Maybe I haven't seen any of that. It says it's galactic bounty hunters on board this ship called the Bebop. John Cho is going to be playing the main guy. Spike Spiegel is his name. Yeah, I don't know. I've seen some fans moaning online, as fanboys are obviously always going to do, saying, obviously, especially anime fans, why are they doing it live action? This doesn't look good. I mean, there's literally a couple of stills of the main cast. So, I mean, how you can say that whether the show is going to be good or bad based on that, I don't know. So, yeah, that is coming. I think it's November the 19th. That's coming to Netflix. I say I haven't seen it, so whether or not these stills are accurate, I'll find out. Maybe I'll give the anime a go as well at some point. As I say, I don't think I've actually seen it. Also this week, Matrix 4 Resurrections is now its title, as was rumoured months and months and months ago, but they finally has come out and officially said, yeah, Matrix 4 Resurrections, and they showed some footage from it at CinemaCon. It's coming out December the 22nd, so we should probably get the trailer for that shortly as well. Now, the footage they showed, I just suspect will probably be the trailer that we'll get, or a similar version of it. Seems to make it look like a soft reboot, maybe to get rid of the bad taste where people didn't like the sequels. It looks like you've got Neo, who can't remember. He's living his life. He's now just Mr. Anderson again, and he is going around, and everyone's taking these blue pills, and he doesn't know, he doesn't know what's going on. He apparently bumps into Trinity in the footage, and she says, "Oh, do I recognise you from somewhere?" And then there's like fast cuts where he wakes up in a pod again, and then he meets this guy who presumably is taking on the Morpheus role for some reason. They didn't bring back Larry Fishburne. Apparently, he said he doesn't know why they didn't bring him back, but apparently, you've got a character in it who's very much like Morpheus, and there's shots of looking like the two of them in a dojo again, fighting. So yeah, maybe it's just the way they've cut that trailer into making you think something different, a bit like the Last Jedi trailer that made it look as like very much like Empire Strikes Back, which obviously all the fanboys moaned about, and then when the film came out and it wasn't like Empire Strikes Back, and they moaned about that as well. So I mean, you can't win either way. But yeah, it sounds like the footage is yeah, more or less a remake of the first, just sort of starting it all up again. So it makes me wonder if that is the case. So yeah, we'll say that's December the 22nd. That's coming out, so we'll give that a go. Hopefully, it's more like the first ones than it is the other two. I don't mind. There's bits I've always said. I reckon if you cut bits of 2 and 3 out and put them together, you could end up with a pretty good action film. If you took out all the big action sequences, probably not much story, but unfortunately, it appears they are bringing back the Merovingians going to be in this new one, which I thought was one of the worst parts of the second, and obviously slightly at the beginning of the third one. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see if they are still going down that sort of storyline. But yes, that'd be interesting to see. Venom 2. Let There Be Carnage, I think it's called, isn't it? Yeah, that looks like that's been delayed till January. It's no official word, but all the sources online seem to say that's been delayed. Maybe again with the Delta COVID variant rampaging across America again. Who knows? Maybe they've gone on, hang on, we're going to pull this, see if we can make some more money on it later. But that looks like that has been put back. Cobra Kai has been renewed for season 5. They've announced. I think was it last week or the week before when I said, we had the trailer, the brief teaser for season 4, and I said that I thought that would be probably a good place to end it because I thought season 3 was starting to stretch the story out a bit. But no, apparently, what do I know? No, they're pushing ahead. Obviously, I suppose if it's popular and it's getting the viewing figures, they're going for a season 5. So hopefully, when we get season 4 later this year, maybe hopefully the story is expanded enough to warrant a season 5, which presumably will be coming to us towards the end of next year, I suspect. That's about it news wise, I think, this week. What have I watched? Not a great deal. The Marvel What If obviously is still going every Wednesday. This week's one was actually, it was quite a change of pace, quite dark in tone. Basically, it was what if someone's bumping off all the prospective Avengers candidates as Nick Fury's trying to put the team together, and someone's killing all the would-be Avengers. So yeah, it got quite dark in tone. It's sort of a whodunit. It's not about halfway through the episode, it was like, I reckon that's got to be that person that did it. I won't give any spoilers if you've not seen it. And there's some bits to make it quite obvious who it is. But yeah, different tone from say the previous one, the one with Chadwick Boseman as Star-Lord, as Black Panther becomes Star-Lord, which was a really funny and light episode. Yeah, different change of tones. I suppose that's the thing with these what ifs. It's all completely different every episode. So yeah, that is still ongoing. Enjoyed that. Yeah, all the other thing we got was the latest edition of the Disney Gallery, the sort of behind the scenes series they do, which this one was just purely looking at the final episode of season 2 of The Mandalorian, and the whole Luke Skywalker reveal. Yeah, and some really interesting stuff. The fact that they approached Mark Hamill and showed him the episode, the first episode of season 1, where where Mando meets the child at the end, and they showed him that. Before it even aired. This is obviously, this is how much obviously they planned this ahead. They showed him that, say, before we'd even seen it. So basically saying, we want you to come in at the end of season 2 and take this, and take Grogu as he became away. So yeah, it was really interesting. And then they bought obviously Mark Hamill was on set as well, and he performed the whole thing. And obviously there was another guy doubling for him as well. And obviously they did all the energetic lightsaber fighting. Yeah, he had to keep it secret all that time. And then and again, very interesting the lengths they went to. Making fake artwork, fake computer generated images to show, and the script that showed that it was Plo Koon, one of the Jedi's that gets killed in Attack of the Clones with Order not Attack of the Clones, Revenge of the Sith with Order 66, isn't it? Yes, and all that, and he gets blown up. He's one of Dave Filoni, who obviously him and Jon Favreau are in charge of Mandalorian. He's one of his favorite characters, so they thought, oh yeah, we'll fake this up and pretend that it's him. So yeah, that's it. Yeah, it's really good, well worth a watch on Disney Plus. The making ofs they do there very good, obviously, because they don't release some of their stuff to Blu-ray, obviously to get subscribers. So it's sort of all the sort of little behind-the-scenes documentaries that you would get on Blu-ray. They've done them for both seasons of The Mandalorian, and as usual, all the Marvel MCU shows that are on there, or get them as well. So yeah, if you're into that sort of, you want to see the behind-the-scenes stuff, well, recommend those. That's about it this week. So I hope you've enjoyed it. Please hit like and subscribe if you could. The subscribers going up every week, which is great. If we can get a few more, will be fantastic. Helps out the channel a great deal. So yeah, take care, and until next week, eat geek and be merry.